one of the things like I said, I would assert part of it because I just watched Dak Shepard's Armchair Expert interview with Brad Pitt a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, it's just not common for guys to really talk about that kind. It's like, even though it's become more mainstream, it's still stigmatized and everything else. But again, I really acknowledge you. And Dax was even talking about, well, I got kind of guy that gets a little bit of shit from Alcoholics Anonymous because he was talking about his male group, and he's like, look, if I get one guy that comes up to me on the street and says it made a difference, that's more than 10,000 admonishments for whatever's going on. So I really appreciate what you're doing because it's definitely something that needs a light shown on it, right? People are dealing with addiction and other things significantly. Can you talk a little bit about like what is sober, like what do you think is a difference maker, not just that you're a guy that's out there talking about what's going on? And again, LinkedIn, oh, business, don't talk about that in a business environment. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, it happens here too. There are plenty of successful CEOs that
Yeah.
hit the bottle or take the pills. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so like I said, I was posting on LinkedIn my kind of struggles with addiction and rehab once I resigned from NG. And one of my posts, I remember I was talking about like, why am I doing this? And I said, there's a stigma around this. If I had cancer or something, you'd want me to get better. Um,
Yeah.
and nobody and everybody was like, it's great, I'm getting help and stuff like that. And most people weren't surprised. It's people still feel like it's going to impact their careers. Like there's people that will just private message me. They're like very careful, like, please don't let anybody know. I'm like, of course I'm
Yeah.
not. But then there's other people that are public about it, and I find people are way more public about it on Instagram than LinkedIn, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
People are just in different places, and there's you know my mugshot's gone viral. I've been arrested one time in my life, and that's what ended me up in rehab last year. I had one charge, never been in a police car ever, never had handcuffs on unwillingly. Um, little, little joke
Yeah.
there.
Again.
You may need to edit that
I,
out for the kids.
no, you're fine.
But yeah, like, yeah.
Well, you
Um,
got another, so that's another thing in common you got with Justin Bieber. Check. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
Mugshot.
I have a mugshot. I look like a deer in headlights. They let me out of jail early. They usually let you out at 11. They let me out at 2 a.m. because they could tell I wasn't comfortable there. So I it was a real wake up call. Like if I didn't get arrested, I think Heidi and I would either be in prison or dead. I mean,
Yeah.
we both had overdosed to that point. We were both living a unsustainable and semi-reckless lifestyle, obviously, and it we loved each other and we love each other, but we had a lot of baggage from our past that we never dealt with for one reason or another. And it wasn't until we were both able to go to 90 days to rehab and focus on ourselves. And people would say don't be selfish. Well, when it comes to things like this, be selfish, because being
Yeah.
selfish about this will help benefit everyone in your life will benefit.
Yeah. 100%. Just the same way that everybody was suffering previous to that.
Right. So now that I've lived a life of extremes, and there's another extreme. Right now, everyone gets to see how things are when I'm sober, and everyone seems to enjoy it. So no one's
Yeah.
it's yeah, I obviously wish I did this sooner, but I'm glad I did it when I did it, and I didn't do it later, if that makes sense. So
Yeah. 100%. 100%. So talk to me a little bit about the token and
yeah.
like building the community. And so how do you go from this being a really great idea, and obviously it's got legs,
Mhm.
but what's kind of the next steps in the short term?